In a few hours from now, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting US President Joe Biden at the White House. The meeting will entail how India and the United States can further enhance their bilateral relationship and also jointly improve their strategic global partnership. Now, according to the Indian Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla, the Afghanistan crisis as well as issues pertaining to the Indo-Pacific as part of the Quad and the threat of terrorism in the region are some of the key issues that will turn up in the discussions. The two leaders are also expected to discuss how to strengthen defense and security collaboration further, boost strategic clean energy partnership, improve bilateral trade and investment ties, and explore new avenues in emerging technologies.
At their bilateral meeting on the 24th of September, the Prime Minister and President Biden will review the robust and multifaceted India-US bilateral relationship. They will also discuss how the comprehensive strategic global partnership between our two countries can be enriched further.
Now, earlier, a senior official of the US government had said that the bilateral will give President Biden a chance to review the US strategic partnership with India, commit to upholding a free and open Indo-Pacific by working together with India. Now, direct joint efforts to a global solution to COVID-19 pandemic and address the climate crisis. Later, Australian and Japanese Prime Ministers will join Prime Minister Modi and Biden for the first ever in-person Quad summit as well. And for more on this story, we're now being joined by Stephen Golub, who is an international affairs expert and is joining us live from California. Thank you so much for joining us. The focus of the meeting to be on enhancing bilateral ties and jointly improving their strategic partnership. What else can we expect from the discussions?
Oh, thanks for having me. I would think climate change would be on the agenda. What could be done together? What could be done globally as part of the world community, what each individual nation can do. So climate change. You briefly mentioned COVID, addressing the COVID challenge. I'm embarrassed to say that the United States, like other wealthy nations, is not doing enough to make vaccines available for the entire globe. And one of the shames of that, even though I think overall President Biden is doing a good job, in this respect, he and other wealthy nation leaders are falling short, not just as a humanitarian matter of saving lives around the world, but also as a matter of in our own self-interest of preventing COVID from spreading and mutating and doing economic damage. I would think Pakistan would be on the agenda, right, given its partial responsibility for what's going on in Afghanistan. And I certainly don't have to educate WION or your audience about the respects in which Pakistan has been undemocratic, destabilizing, and terrorism supporting. So I think those are a few of the other issues that will be on the agenda.
Right. Of course, Afghanistan will be a common talking point and has been in the ongoing discussions and summits. And the issues pertaining to Indo-Pacific as part of the Quad and the threat of terrorism in the region will also be discussed. How do you assess that? What can we expect on those fronts?
Well, it's hard to say what exactly will come out of this. So much, this is one stage, and I believe President Biden and Prime Minister Modi have met before, but never in these roles. So it's not exactly a getting acquainted meeting, but now that they're the leaders of their respective nations, both of them, to talk about what they might do moving forward, and setting the stage for future discussions, for future actions, for future policies. I would think, as you'd mentioned or alluded to, China will be central, not to create a violent confrontation with China, or not, as President Biden has emphasized, not to start a new Cold War, but to deal with the economic and military and strategic challenges that China is facing. It's in the mutual interest of India and the United States to continue and to build the cooperation that they've already started in that crucial regard.
Right, absolutely. And then, of course, we have the Quad Summit. And as we know, this is happening in the backdrop of the new AUKUS deal. Now, though there have been a lot of clarifications on the same, what are your views on the same? There have been concerns still regarding the impact of the AUKUS on the functioning of the Quad.
Yeah, well, this is a work in progress. You know, the cooperation among these nations is a work in progress. I wouldn't expect anything really dramatic to come out of this, in that it will be a series of incremental steps, I would guess, and maybe a few will be announced after the summit. But it's just continuing to build that cooperation, not necessarily with any dramatic initiatives or being announced right now or being announced, and sometimes some of the most dramatic work goes on behind the scenes, be it in terms of military or strategic or intelligence, certainly, cooperation. So I think there will be just gradual steps to move forward, some of which may be announced and some of which may be agreed upon, but won't be announced because they'll involve, among other things, intelligence matters.
Right, Mr. Stephen Gold, thank you so much for your time and your insights on the same. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.